Hi, welcome to my political show, Kavindu Political Times. Before start the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Now let's get started, shall we? Now today on the show, we're going to talk about the future of the infrastructure bill. Will be decided within the upcoming hour or two. It will be decided the outcome, and the good news is about that, and also and some political assurances from me for the American people. So now let's get started. So now let's talk. Now let's start with the good news, the infrastructure bill. The infrastructure bill, as you all know, is a bill that sort of focuses on roads and EV infrastructure and everything. Now this is the 1.3 trillion dollar infrastructure bill, not the one that will go to the budgetary committee. This one is the 1.3 trillion one. Now the expectation is that the bill will get passed within the next 1 hour or two in the Senate. So the bipartisanship will happen. The filibuster has been broken. Now it's in the vote. So the expectation is that the bill will be passing through, and the necessary votes the bill required that requires the bill to pass will be met by the both parties. So it's a good victory for the people. Now the one of the key inclusions of the 1.3 trillion dollar infrastructure bill is wireless internet, repairs for roads, bridges, and key infrastructure items that's essential for a country, and a country like the US should never ignore. So that's part of the thing. Now let's talk about why wireless internet might not seem a big thing. You think a country like the US, everyone has internet? Not everyone. If you go to the rural part of the United States, there are still parts of the rural areas where there is no internet, there is no Wi-Fi, things like that. So the key part of the 1.3 trillion dollar infrastructure bill is to make sure those rural areas get wireless internet and the necessary modern day conveniences to help to create young modern entrepreneurs from those areas. Internet is a commodity everyone should enjoy, and that's what the Biden administration is trying to do through the 1.3 infrastructure bill. And of course, roads and bridges are essential. As you are living, you need your roads and bridges to be in full high quality. So the infrastructure bill will tackle that. And there are many more in the bill I will not mention since it's a very long bill. Something else important to mention is that there's another bill that's more than $1.3 trillion will go to the budgetary committee as well. So that has to be addressed as well. And that will go to the budgetary committee, not through the bipartisanship. The price tag is a bit steep for that bill. So something to address on that. So moving on from that bill, let's talk about something freaking things out moments. Or I love to call them OMG. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene once the US senator claimed that masking mandate is like getting gassed by the Germans. It's like the Jews got gassed by the Germans. You know what? She is a maniac. And then of course she didn't stop her comparisons to the head of Hitler's German policy comparisons for mundane stuff. Because she doesn't want to wear a mask. She compares the petty things like that into the world's biggest catastrophes in humanity. And that's who she is. But despite that, Kevin McCarthy is a coward, of course, and he has to get the vote from the Trump base. If you have to think about that, well, he has to. Because of that reason, as we expect, that she has not been penalized as she should. And all the penalization has actually happened from the Democrats. Why should the Democrats penalize the GOP at this point? It's stupid at this point, but that's the case. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or we like to call Karen. Now, in the United States, there's a famous phrase for annoying women that's called the Karen. She is truly a Karen. Now, Karen is most likely going to go to Iowa State Fair. Now, many people say Iowa State Fair is where you will test your presidential voters. If you can get a good crowd there, well, you can have a potential presidential run. The thing is, it doesn't mean she's going just for that. She might be looking for a larger audience, might not necessarily be focused on a presidential run. Now, sometimes politicians have gone to the Iowa State Fair, not necessarily looking for a presidential run, but more towards expanding their base of voters. So things like that. But let's think for a second, Marjorie Taylor Greene does run for the presidential election. Now, some people might say that now the majority will say that she has no chance of winning a presidential election. She's unpopular in the country. She barely won her home state to win the Senate seat to begin with. So technically, she doesn't have the votes of her entry for the Senate to back that up either. So I can assure you, American people, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, even if she runs, she won't win. That has to be addressed. And if one thing we learned from the Hillary Clinton result in 2016 presidential election, it's going to take a while before a woman becomes the president in the United States. So Marjorie Taylor Greene has that going against her as well. But let's think for a second. Does she pose any threat? She does pose a threat. We say the same thing about Donald Trump, except he's a man, but more like an old man. Now Donald Trump surprised everyone by winning 2016. But I don't expect Marjorie Taylor Greene to do the same. She doesn't have it. I can assure that to you, all of you American people, up front. Now, I'm going to end the video, but before that, one more thing. Senator Matt Gaetz have now started his podcast. Podcasts are started by two types of people. One part of the group are people who want to express their feelings, what they have gone through in their lives, something like Prince Harry is doing, or like Meghan Markle is doing. Or that second group of people who are so desperate to get attention for their outlandish views, then they start a podcast because it's a lot more less embarrassing than YouTube, where you can tell me I'm wrong at something. Please tell me in the comment section. Or in podcast, there's no comment section. You talk to people. You talk to people directly. Something you should know. So yes, Matt Gaetz is now sad and lonely. Might even see a prison term for his rather weird sexual lifestyle. He might be even going to prison. Who knows? We will see. So on that note, I'm going to end the video. So thank you very much for joining me on the show. Thank you very much.